Welcome to our channel. We are Superhero Cafe. I am your host, the Great One, and these are my co-hosts,
Black Roshi,
Afro Bandit,
The Yellow.
and today we're talking about The
The
Boys. And I only seen the first two seasons, so these two guys.
the first
The first season. So
Oh my
these
God.
guys, excluding the gal, we'll talk about it. Go. Good, man.
Well, I think so
What happened? Talk.
I like the Boys series and where it's going right now. It's quite entertaining. The masses seem to like it. The Boys comic is not as a big. It's not big as a big comic as something like a DC or Marvel. So they are straying away from some of that stuff a little bit, like the source material. But I think it's still pretty good, all the way up to episode 4 when I've watched. And that's my opinion on it. I know the Yellow feels different.
Oh yes, y'all gonna get the real for me.
Explain.
All right, so I'm a big stickler of comic book movies, comic book shows, sticking to the material,
The source material.
the source material. I mean, it's not that hard. I mean, it's laid out for you.
So just play.
You have all the storylines, you have all the characters, all the descriptions. You ain't coming up with nothing on your own. Just
plagiarize.
Just read. Yeah, just plagiarize. Just read the
It's
comic.
copy. It's copy.
So I mean, The Boys is entertaining. You know, it has a lot of action in it, a lot of gore. You know, if you've never read the comic before, you'll love it. It's good. It's not like The Preacher. That bull. Oh my
the
god.
preacher was.
I
boring.
like the preacher though. I never read.
I don't think
You know,
I've never seen
Preacher,
it.
Preacher
boring.
is made by the
And
same
we're talking
guy.
about the Preacher on AMC. So AMC had a
Yes.
series called The Preacher
Preacher.
that was based on graphic novels.
Yeah, it's based off a graphic novel. And that graphic novel was made by the same person who made The Boys. So, you know, both of his comics have shows. One is good. The Boys is good, but, you know, I have a problem with it when you change characters around. You know, you make one character who's a male or female. And then you change their whole backstory. You
Not the
know.
whole backstory, some of the backstory. So
We don't know the
Yeah, we
the
don't
full
know.
we don't know the full
backstory.
backstory yet because the series
Oh.
is still fleshing out Stormfront.
Okay.
Stormfront. So Stormfront is the character's name that we're talking about. And they more or less what is it called? Gender bent the character. So the character is still the same race, which is white. But the background in the comic is different because it's the Nazi background.
Yep, she's supposed to be a Nazi, or he's supposed to be a Nazi.
Yeah, because
And
originally
it's
the
just-
character's a guy.
There's just it's a whole thing going on with Stormfront, which could have been really cool if they would have left it the way it was. But now it's kind of like, to me, it feels like you're trying to push an agenda. It sounds political to me. You know, first you make her a woman, now you bring her into the deep south, being all racist with, you know, trying to bring the whole BLM movement in there. So it's kind of like, come on, man, what are you doing? Like, do that with another show. Don't do that with The Boys. Like, just leave it like it is.
It's a very I think it's a worth watch. It definitely is.
Yeah, I give it a 8 out of 10.
Yeah, and if you don't know the source material as deep or as read any of the comic, you will find it very entertaining. Although it is not your typical DC Superman or typical Marvel Avengers superhero show. It's
Right.
far from that. The show itself is just so, I would say the show is polarizing, really. It's different enough to make you watch it and make it be entertaining. But it's not something that you can't compare to mainstream shows,
Right.
which is why it's on Prime.
Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon Prime. So I think, it's only episode 4. They still have a lot more to flesh out in season 2. I think they're already working on the season 3 actually. And we don't know. We will see how the series keep going the further it goes. But I would definitely on 1 to 10. Like the yellow said, I give it an 8.
Yeah.
Maybe 8.5. I give it 8.5.
We ain't going that far.
Well,
I give it an
you
8.
watched
I give it an 8 out of 10.
But you haven't read the comics. So.
Yeah, I haven't started the comic yet, but coming from a place of I've only seen season 1 and started season 2, I like it. I didn't really like episode 4 because it was boring and it was long. I didn't like how they basically bringing Stormfront's background into it. I didn't like how she was in the past she was Liberty and now she's Stormfront. I don't know how they're gonna work that into the story. I just really didn't like it.
So she's not Stormfront right now.
No, she's Stormfront.
You know what's
But
interesting?
she used to be Liberty like in 1970.
You know that
So
the
she's
lady,
old.
that was the sister,
Yeah.
was played on Different World.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Jaleesa.
So yeah, Jaleesa, it was good to see her.
Yo, but the dude's face though.
Yeah, like
It was like his face was mushed up.
I didn't
like,
expect
oh
them to
my
show his
God.
face.
And he was still
I
alive.
didn't
Was he
either.
still alive? Because his head
I
was
think
moving. He was like,
I think he was alive for like a split second
just enough
Man.
for her to be like,
to show that face. Even I was like, ugh.
yeah, but
But-
that's what you get out the boys. Like,
Yeah,
this is
it's very
it's
gory.
racy, yeah.
It's very.
and that's why I like it.
They killed a whale.
You know, but I'm still a stickler. Then yes, they
So
killed the
I mean, if you haven't seen The Boys,
Check
think
it out.
about in this world right now that you live in, like literally right now, people got superpowers.
Oh man.
And The Boys is literally exactly how people would act
Yo,
if they had superpowers
Oh,
in the
yeah.
real world.
They are some
So
assholes.
that person that you thought was already a a-hole would probably get Superman
superhero.
powers, and then it would be even worse. The Boys
Yeah.
takes the very concept of if you have money and money makes your demons worse. The same thing with power. Power makes your demons even worse. And
Oh, yeah.
it's in The Boys. I think the concept is, even in the comic, the source material is find somebody that's even if you're already a bad person, find that with superpowers, find a even worse bad person with superpowers and take this person down. So it's
Yep.
like it's a true, pick the lesser of both evils type of situation that you're constantly dealing with. Now in The Boys, it's the Seven, and then it's also The Boys. So the series is named after The Boys, which is a group of guys that don't have any, well, for the most part, don't have any
I
superpowers.
like.
They ain't got no superpower.
Yeah, I like.
Well,
Only one-
Mother
regular
one
people.
does.
What is
He
this?
does have superpowers?
When he drinks his bomb.
Oh well, we ain't got to that in the series.
Yeah, we not.
What would he get?
Nothing. So
Yeah, we ain't got to that. We ain't got to that in
Bring it up.
the series yet.
Sorry.
But the female,
I should have read
she-
social
the
theory.
female
Oh yeah, she has.
Yeah, the
has
female,
superpowers.
Yeah, she has.
What
She-
female?
The
Yeah,
female, the
what's her name?
Asian
She has a
lady.
name now. What's her name?
I don't know. I'll call her the female because
Well, that's
that's
what
her
the comic
name.
calls it. The comic, yeah.
They call her
Oh.
the female?
They call it
I
female.
think
Yeah,
it's-
her name is the female.
Yeah, that's what they call.
But she
her.
can do something.
Yeah, cause like she can't talk. Like,
Well, she can, but she-
Oh, she's like a
uses-
super fighter. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she uses a form of
Silence.
Silence.
and her name is Kimiko.
Kimiko.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Kimiko.
But she has superpowers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But the reason why she has superpowers is because they use the
Compound V.
compound V on her.
Right,
Yep.
right, right.
Yeah, they like pumped it, a whole bunch of it into her,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how she got her powers. So, but once you watch it, you'll all the way up to where they are now. It'll flush some of that stuff out, so you'll be able to see exactly
Mhm.
where that comes from. But it's a good series. It's a worth watch. What I liked about this, what I won't say like, what I thought was weird. I should start with weird about this episode
Which
was
episode?
Homelander 4. Episode
Oh,
4.
God.
Homelander is an interesting character.
I
He
do
really
not
is.
like Homelander.
Him and the doppelganger.
Yeah, the doppelganger. I thought he felt looped though at first with the whole him at the cabin thing.
Yeah, when I first seen, I was like, "Oh snap, she's alive!"
Yeah, and I was waiting for
And I
them
was
to
like, who the
explain
hell
how
is
she
that
was
woman?
alive.
Yeah, I was like, cause she got,
But then once they were on the sofa and he was laying on and she started convulsing, I was like, what the heck is going on? And then he turned into a man.
It's like chase back, chase back. All right, so this is more or less. We passed the be careful for spoilers part if you're watching this, but
Yeah.
but we're gonna talk about highlights in the episode, at least just in episode 4. If y'all want us to talk about the rest of the episodes, let us know in the comments and we can go over the other ones. But this wasn't in the last part. This was like close to the beginning of episode
Yeah, it's
4.
about the beginning.
Yeah.
So Homelander, which is the evil Superman character or whatever, more or less, goes to this house to see the woman that he basically vanquished in season 1, literally vanquished. And So everybody's thinking that she's dead. I'm thinking he's like hallucinating because it's Homelander.
Nah,
And
I
he
thought
gets
she
in
was
there.
alive.
He gets in there, and the lady comes. She has on lingerie and stuff. She's like, "Oh, you okay?" Blah, blah, blah. And, you know, she had like some milk. But after watching this, you'll never see milk the same. And especially as the further you go on, you'll probably never see milk the same. But you know, he watches.
Like, what is up with this milk?
Milk, yeah. So and like she's like she puts like dips her fingers in the milk, puts it in his mouth. He just freaks out. They start kissing or whatever.
But you know, like in the first season, he used to drink her milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is up with this milk?
Yeah,
It's gonna make you wonder, what is
And
up
so,
with this milk?
and so he laid down in this lady's lap. And he's complaining about stuff that's happening with the Seven or whatever, which is like his evil Justice League. And he's like he's upset with stuff that the character Stormfront's doing because she's getting more attention to him and he wants to be the boss of everything. And
Like a
so
big baby.
the lady that he went to see is like, okay, well you're the best. You know, you created the team. You're the strongest superhero there is. She's basically boosting his head up, and so she starts convulsing. She's like, and so Homelander like sits up out of her lap, and then the guy she changes into this dude. So the lady is actually a person called Doppelganger.
Yeah, he's a doppelganger.
So he shapeshifts like Mystique.
Yeah.
And basically, and so Homelander set up. He's like, change back, because he's like this fat white guy with like taco meat or chest hair. And he still had on the lingerie. And he changed.
You change back now.
But
He's like, change back now.
But
Change back.
then at the end of the episode, when he turned into Homelander
But
with the
wait,
lingerie on.
but earlier when he told him to change back, and so Doppelganger changed back, he looked at Doppelganger like, he's like, oh, you know if I can recapture that moment. He's like,
But he kept going. But he went along.
he went along
with
with it, yeah.
It was like, all right.
It was gross.
This girl,
Yeah, man.
Homelander is horrible.
he is. He's horrible. He's a horrible, horrible character.
Yeah, because I know if I had superpowers, I'd be robbing banks. I don't care what y'all say. I'm not saving nobody but myself.
Yeah, it's
And my
interesting.
family.
The
We finna get rich.
the relationships that they build in the show with Homelander and basically right now, Homelander relationship was with I forget her name. Was with this lady from season 1.
Talking about Becca?
No, the lady that was in charge. That Doppelganger was in.
The butler.
So so now more or less the relationship that Homelander has now is basically with himself. At least as far as to episode 4, he's having constant internal battles with himself. You know, you got the whole thing. Yeah, the beast in battle.
Still well.
There's the season's focused, at least up to episode 4, is focusing on Butcher and his wife, his ex-wife or still his wife?
They never got divorced.
Oh
Yeah,
my
so
God.
it's still
So
his
Butcher and his
wife.
wife's
That-
relationship.
We have to talk
That
about
whole
this.
scene,
We have to talk about
that
this.
whole ordeal was just stupid.
We have to talk about this man climbs a 20-foot wall with cameras.
No security around him.
With cameras.
Nobody's chasing him after this.
Gets caught on camera.
Nobody goes after him.
No one chases him. He goes to the wife's house. Is there any place without cameras? What? You just got caught on camera. What?
Why does it matter?
What sense does it make? They know you there.
Yeah, I know you're here.
That was cool, like he was in the seat, like he was in the back seat, like
I just
You go.
didn't like the part where
You did all that for her to say,
I'm not finished. So basically, he went there to rescue her.
man.
She has a child by Homelander because she was assaulted and she had this baby. She didn't want to have the baby, but they made her have the baby anyway. And Butcher don't like kids, especially that one because he's a soup kid.
yeah.
And
it ain't his.
Yeah, and it's not his, but it's a superhero. Butcher has this thing against superheroes. He don't care if you're a child or not. He's gonna kill you. And he was okay with taking a child.
Well, at first.
He was like, I'll
No.
take you.
But she said she read through it and she knew
Yes.
eventually that he was gonna hate having that child and was gonna
They
try
was
to
gonna
get rid of
it.
it.
Yeah.
If I was her, I would have said, bump you, get me and
Hey, look.
this baby out. I'll give
Well,
you
ain't no
a part.
baby though. That's
I
like
get
an
me-
11-year-old.
Yeah, he's grown.
He's grown enough to like incinerate you. So well, even the babies
He got laser eyes.
Yeah, babies get
Remember
it.
they had that baby over there? You remember that? Yeah.
But she should have just said, just let me get up out of here with this child. I'll just grab me an apartment and we
You can't just grab no apartment. They gonna find him.
I'm getting up out of there.
They're in this. So it's kind of like they're in this place like the
It's
village.
like a big pen,
Yeah.
more or less, and it's like it has
It's
these
a
high
whole
Jurassic
town.
Park walls.
It's a whole town meant for them to have a normal life.
But
So
it's
basically,
not.
the little boy is being he's an experiment
Yeah.
still,
Like Homelander was.
like
in
Homelander
season
was.
one.
Only the scientists wised up and said, Homelander, I should have let you grow up with a mother and a father so you could be normal. Instead of strapping an atom bomb to your leg, and if you
Yeah.
try to escape, you will blow up.
Which is key. Which is key because, like I said, I think
So that's why he's an asshole.
They're working on the relationships of these characters because Homelander could easily find Butcher and kill him,
Pretty much.
but they have an agreement that Homelander has an agreement with Butcher's wife, right? That if she said, "Don't go and kill Butcher," and me and our son, which is got the baby, the child that she has a Homelander,
Baby
will
son.
stay here or whatever.
Yeah.
Some agreement like that.
Now, mind
So
you-
basically, he can't go attack Butcher and he can't go kill Butcher because if he do, then she's gonna either kill herself or do something. Well, she can't really do nothing to the boy. He's like super.
Yeah, super.
But at least she said she'll kill herself or do something where she'll leave and he'll never be able to find her.
Yeah, she said she'll leave.
She'll
They
leave.
wanna-
Yeah, yeah.
But here's the messed up thing, and this is why I stress to you filmmakers out there that want to take a comic book and make an adaptation. Butcher's wife is dead in the comic book. She does not exist. There is no child.
Huh.
Oh.
She's dead. That's the whole premise of the whole comic book with Butcher.
It's like a revenge.
It's a revenge comic.
Which is
So
what
it's
they were
like
going.
it's like you put.
Yeah, in the first,
They were going
first
that
season,
route.
that
Because
was
he even
that
says
route.
it in the second season. He's like, I thought you were dead. That's
Yeah.
why I was.
Yeah.
Because
That's why he's doing
Homelander
it.
describes Butcher as like mindless. He's like, he's a mind. Actually, Homelander is scared of Butcher because he's like, do anything, he's crazy.
Mhm.
But I think that the reason why they completely added the child, and then well, you might as well say added the wife to stay alive that long is to add longevity to the show, to add some type of restriction to the show. Because if you think about it, she acts like a shackle to Homelander, and she acts like a shackle to Butcher. And then she's in the middle, and then the kids are also there. So her and the kid are like a couple too, like intertwined. So what? And then you see that really play out in season 4. That's why she's like, not season 4, episode 4. She's like, I don't want to leave because your relationship with this boy will never be as it should because you don't like supers, which is what they call superpowered humans
Yeah.
in the boys. And then Homelander is super crazy, but she knows that she can manipulate him off of the boy.
True.
You know,
True.
he doesn't know anything about being a parent. Anything. He's a box. He's elaborate with
Yeah.
superpowers.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they did it. Now, whether you agree or disagree, I can understand both ways because you don't need it to uphold the story.
Nope.
Since the source material doesn't have it, but it's a filler that's in there to kind of, I guess, roll over gaps if they have it. It's like, oh, we could just put this here to, because you think about it, how much time was spent on the wife and the kid in episode 4? Probably more than
Yeah.
any other
Yeah,
episode.
it was a while.
It's probably
like
gotta
20
be at least
minutes.
20 minutes, 20,
20
25
minutes.
minutes, yeah, on that. In the out of episode is what, 45, 50 minutes long?
Wait a minute.
So
There's other material they could have touched.
it could have. I mean, Stormfront's a new character of the season,
Yeah.
and I don't think she has,
They could've
she
spent-
doesn't even have 30 minutes of screen
Look,
time.
they
No,
could have
she
spent
doesn't.
20 minutes on her back, his background story. You know, they could have did that.
Now, what do you guys think about Starlight and Hugh's
Oh my
relationship?
god.
Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that right there they got right. Shoot.
I mean,
But
I
you know,
don't-
it gets somebody. He would get somebody.
and that's what I was about to say. I really don't have an opinion on it because they both get on my
He
nerves.
gets somebody.
They
I like
irritate me.
Like Huey?
You like Huey?
Yeah.
Why you like Huey?
Because he's
Relatable.
he's going through regular emotions.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because in the first season, the first
Well, he was
episode, his
pissed.
girlfriend did die. which
Oh,
was
Oh,
horrible.
that was so
She got ran through. Literally.
That
Wasn't that his fiance?
He was
About to
about,
be?
he was about to
About to
propose.
be.
Yeah, it's about to close.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then next
They
thing you
tried
know,
to-
She exploded.
hands.
Like no body. Just exploded.
Disintegrated.
Oh,
disintegrated.
man.
Dust.
Just
That was
blood.
terrible.
Juice.
And all the blood got on him.
I think I rewinded that part a few times because I was like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
At first I thought she got hit by a bus or something. I was like, oh, she done got hit by a bus.
She got
Yeah.
hit by
And I
the
see
man.
this guy, he's like, oh my God, can't stop. I
So
was
if you
like, wait a
watching
minute,
it,
what was that?
if you watching it, especially season 2, that's when really just like I said earlier, they go into focus of the relationships. So as opposed to looking at the characters individually in season 2,
Relationship.
look at
Yeah.
the relationship,
Yeah.
look at the links that they're trying to make.
And that's the other
even-
thing with the whole political thing I was trying to get to. You know, you fired a black guy, A-Train, replace him with a white guy.
Well, they didn't say that yet. They
But
just-
I'm just saying, it's
That the other fast guy?
implied. That's the other thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
race again. Orange.
Yeah.
It's implied, you know.
Why they put him in though? He's not
And
as
then-
fast as
But we don't know yet.
And
It
then
was
they
just
had
a
that whole
A-Train juice
interview.
done.
Remember, they
Yeah,
had that
he's
whole
had-
interview.
Yeah,
Like,
and he
why,
changed his mind, yeah.
why aren't there any black people in the sevens? You know what I'm saying?
Ah.
That whole episode.
No. She said, why aren't there
There
as
are
many
many
minority superheroes? Because most of the superheroes are white.
White.
Yeah.
And then Homeland was like, oh well, you know,
And then she was
we have like
black
a black guy.
Look,
you know?
she was hinting at, well, if superheroes can be made and not born, why do you think they only made predominantly white superheroes? So I just felt like it was like trying to get, you know.
But see, here's the thing.
They had a point.
I don't.
I think they had a point.
To me personally,
And I
I
feel like in the real world, I'm gonna cut you off. I feel like in the real world, they probably do some foul shit like that.
Oh, yeah,
for
of
real.
course. but I don't think
They ain't
it's
making
a
no black
problem.
superheroes.
I don't think it's a problem with it because the series is just trying to make itself current. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
trying to kind of
Relevant.
absorb, it's trying to absorb some of the outside things to put into the series. So when you do have that person that's looking at the series and thinking more along the lines of, you know, of what's happening today, then they can relate to it. It's
Right.
not. Some people like a full and total escape, which I'm not against. But some people still kind of like to be tethered to the real world. And I mean, but then again, too, in The Boys, you kind of don't even really need that because the story itself tethers you to the real world. I mean, it's
Yeah.
literally y'all literally. It's like superpowers, right? If people got superpowers right now, what they be doing.
Yeah.
So your neighbor across the street, you know they ain't quite right. If they got superpowers, you can see them just flying all over the place naked. So I mean, like, yeah, like you know, I mean,
Just start peeing.
that's stuff that they would do, and even in the comics, even early in the comics, there's still a lot of stuff they didn't cover in the source material. Stormfront's team, the guy, the tech guy, he's like Iron Man,
Yep.
and he has.
Yeah, they have teams.
Yeah, I ain't gonna explain about this guy because he has like a dog issue. He's like,
What's his name?
what is that guy's name? Something is it? Because he doesn't have any superpowers. He's just really good with technology, like Iron Man.
Oh, the French dude.
No, not
No,
French.
no.
He was on Stormfront's original team.
Oh no.
But anyway, he had issues, like real world issues. So I don't know. Anything else about that episode?
No.
I felt like it was more they should have put into the story with Stormfront's background.
Oh yeah, I didn't like how they added that in there. Like
It was
that.
like
It
it
was
seemed like an
weird.
afterthought.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like, oh, this was deleted. See,
Yeah, the
let's
transition.
add this in.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
transition. It didn't flow well.
No, it
It
didn't.
did.
Like,
Because when I was watching it, I was like, did I miss something?
It felt like because it was like a just jumping in and then Mother's Milk, which is the black guy's name, MM is what we were starting calling him. He kind of gave this random story about his dad,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah. That whole thing.
it didn't fit.
Mm-mm.
And then it's like they kind of forced him and Starlight to kind of start
That was
talking
weird,
because
too.
I'd rather at first for him to really kind of be distant from Starlight. Like, why
Yeah.
did you bring her or whatever? But
They
it's-
became friends over donuts.
Mother's Milk and Starlight.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
became
not
friends.
yeah, like
Over
friends.
donuts.
Like it was crazy. Just
His name is Tech Knight.
Tech Night. That's it.
Donuts.
Yeah, Tech
Oh,
Knight.
But yeah, that part it seemed forced.
It did seem
The
forced. So,
transition, it just.
so I guess you could say it has some what do we call it? contextual issues, like
Yeah.
or maybe pacing or something, because it was
Yeah.
just it didn't kind of fit because
just
it was literally like 5 minutes of
Honestly,
this what happened.
honestly thought he was lying.
I did
Just to
too.
get inside, I was
I
like,
thought he was
man,
lying,
he ain't
too.
never talked about his dad before.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then when they get on the road, he was like, yes, that story I thought I remember. And I'm like, oh, that's
What's
really
his dad
happened.
was like
Because I was really thinking that he
Guess
was
he was
going
a
to say,
lawyer,
"Oh, I was
a reporter or
lying."
something like that, or a
Uh-huh.
cop, or I don't know.
I don't know what his daddy was. All I know, he used to sit over a typewriter until
Yeah.
he died.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that whole thing was kind of like, and I that might be why you feel like 4 was boring, because you got a lot of it. Like you got that. The Homelander thing was interesting because it's Homelander and he's just crazy. Anytime Homelander's on screen, this is what I like about The Boys. Somebody put it in the I seen it in a comment, and it said Homelander. Every time Homelander's on screen, it feels like weird because you don't know what he's gonna do. He'll walk in a room and he'll be smiling, and he might be thinking about blowing your hair off.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like and Starlight made a good point when she's talking to Huey in the episode. She was like, I feel like I have a loaded gun in my face because he hemmed her up in the elevator.
Oh yeah.
Because Homelander knows about, so Starlight is a member of the Seven, and she has a relationship with a member of the Boys. Now these are two groups that hate
Don't
each
like
other.
each other.
They're trying to kill each other, basically.
Yeah, and so Starlight's like a double agent, really, but not really, because they know that
She's
she
just
has.
dumb.
Yeah, basically. So long story short, Homelander knows they have a relationship, so he ended her up in the elevator and was like, "I know about your relationship, and I could kill you right here because you didn't. She was supposed to kill Huey when they were tracking him down, but she didn't. So she fed him alive, more or less. And Homelander's so simple, he believed it, and basically she saved her own life because he was going to try to kill her in the elevator.
He was
Pretty much.
So
not
I mean,
trying. He was gonna kill.
yeah,
her.
he was gonna kill her. He's like gonna do something to her ribs or something. I don't know.
I wonder when they're gonna give more screen time to Black
Noir.
Noir.
I'm sure it's
It's
coming.
starting to get a little bit more now.
He's creepy.
Yeah.
Because they need to stop focusing on the D. He doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay?
He's
He sucks.
He is creepy.
His
He's
power sucks.
His skills
He-
suck.
they just need to let the boys capture him and kill him.
And they were ugly.
Yeah, they are.
They were singing to him.
I think Black Noir's gonna get more,
He needs more camera
but he
time.
might not get more to the end of season 2 and more in the beginning of 3
Mhm.
if they do it like the source material.
He needs to get more time
Yeah.
so y'all can get to these spoilers.
It gets good. It gets really
It
good.
gets good.
Anything else?
If they stick to the source material. There's a really good movie. There's a really good show that sticks to the source material.
Which is?
The show is called The Umbrella Academy. That sticks to the source material. They loosely change
Yeah, I'm
a
about to say,
couple of
this is-
things.
it's okay, it's stuff here and there.
A couple of things they change,
Okay.
but they don't change characters. They don't change the storyline. You know, they keep it simple, but they'll throw a little twist in here. And you're like, hey, that didn't happen like that in the comic book.
Right.
But that still happened, though. It just didn't happen the way you thought it was going
in
to
the
happen.
Umbrella
in the
Academy, I
They
think
turned
they
rumor
kind
about
of like knocked to stuff. That had to
Well,
happen. They just
but
don't
she's still a
explain it.
female.
Yeah, that's true.
They didn't make him a man. Make her a man.
Now, Old Guard was almost to the T, except for
Yeah, now, Old
sexual
Guard,
So what's that?
sexual stuff.
the
They
Old
kinda
Guard
stuff
was
in the Old
good.
Guard?
Yeah, the Old Guard comic it was.
Oh.
Yeah, the Old
But
Guard.
everything else was.
I
But
haven't
see,
read it, but I
the
did like the
creator-
movie.
was in on the movie.
Oh, so that's why.
You
Yeah.
know.
So anything else about the boys?
Can they kill
Check it
Homelander,
out.
please?
Get Amazon Prime.
Get
Check it
somebody
out.
log in. You don't have it.
Or if you have a Fire Stick and you got the free stuff, check it out.
And
It's good.
check it out. We'll be back at what? It's episode 4, so maybe we'll come back for a review for episode 6.
Yeah,
So
we'll
y'all-
be back on episode 6.
2 episodes. Check that out. We'll kind of lump them
5
together.
and 6.
4, 5, 6.
5 and 6. 5 and 6.
Yep.
That's all.
5, 6. Thanks for watching.
Thanks
Like,
for
share,
watching.
comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Bye-bye.
See you
Bye-bye.
later. Until next time.
Spot.
Well, we're not Star Trek.
I think they look good. I think we want to. I think they did good.
I mean, some
Yeah,
things
we need like an intro or something.